Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you have to be. Welcome to a bright and shining, beautiful edition of the Living World of Darkness rage across New York. The dove spirits are singing a delightful tune. The dog spirits, well, riled, are starting to get a little bit more comfortable around the Garou, who haven't pissed them off and probably betrayed them to their entire core. Big Brother Bear is sleeping very, very soundly, waiting for the next time he must be aroused to combat the worm or heal the woes of Gaia's ever-increasing wounds. But here, in the umbral landscape, in this fairy tale-like environment, we find Maeve MacFionn upon one of her routes. Now, Maeve MacFionn has always been very, very diligent and, tending to many of the shrines around the Sept. However, today she smells something a little bit off. She can't quite place it. It's a familiar smell. I mean, she's been out on operations once or twice before, and thinking about that definitely concerns her a little bit more, as on the wind, seems like there is a smell of blood coming from the fountain, more central, more in the out-of-the-way part of the penumbral reflection of Central Park. Here we begin our scene.
And Maeve has only just left a thrilling conversation with the resident Korax. Having walked away after having a conversation with him in the Umbra, she is kind of idly walking the trails, perhaps with her mind bent towards the various spirits that she needs to appeal to for the day, as she has her own, never mind the extra keeper-ish duties given to her by the keeper himself. So she is wandering the way before that coppery tang hits her nose, and she, of course, will follow this, being intrigued. I mean, it's not uncommon to smell blood among the Garou. Many a time they come back with injuries that are unannounced. Many a time things just kind of happen, in that unfortunate way. And as such, cheerful little Maeve is walking along, meandering along, and not thinking much of it, really. I mean, it gets a little strong, but okay. I mean, sometimes punishments are given. She's dealt with one or two of those punishments herself and ended up reeking of blood. She
Ever smelled ozone before?
Ooh, yes.
Ever smell what happens to electronics when they go ahead and short out, or covered with fluid, and they just sort of starting to hear? Actually, you're starting to hear crinkling.
She probably associate
electronics just shorting out.
She probably associate the smell with things like the tractor back home, or just that smell of ozone one gets before or after a storm. And so she'll continue to follow it, perhaps becoming a little more concerned, but not thinking terribly much of it.
Ever smelled diesel before?
Again, we'll associate that with the tractor or something.
Well, yeah, let's just go ahead with that. Let's go ahead. But as you're walking, as you're starting to approach the source of this smell, you think about that tractor back home. You think about your father patching it up using whatever tools he had available. He had just a very, very nice rack that was on a trolley that he would take out there every so often. And as you get closer and closer, you see the fountain off in the distance, but another thing you go ahead and see, actually on the ground, is just a smear. A smear. Well, I just say a smear, more like a drip trail that has been skipped and scratched over. Definitely of blood. You've seen this before. You know it. This is a blood trail.
And of course, Maeve's response to potential injury is concern and immediate pursuit of the injury so that perhaps she can aid whomever has been hurt. She probably doesn't think much of it so much as, oh, damn it, another person got horribly injured doing something stupid. And so she picks up her face and hurries into, not quite a run, but kind of a brisk little jog, pressing through the brush and whatnot to cut straight towards the presumed source of this blood trail.
Oh yeah, definitely. definitely can go ahead and cross the brush. The trail here apparently goes ahead and winds just a little bit for a hot second. As you come to the fountain, you can see a slumped over figure, a lupus figure, actually. And from that slumped over lupus figure, you can hear the sounds of gears grinding. You can see a pool of fluid start to spill out from it. It seems to have slumped over the perimeter of the fountain, so most of which goes ahead and starts to pollute the penumbral reflection of the fountain, turning it not only just a tinge red, but also a tinge brown and a little bit black too, as various mechanical material starts to mix with the very, very pure water. And of course, the hind is completely covered, I should say, the hide is completely covered in blood.
And perhaps it is not the wisest of reflexes, but Maeve, of course, leaps to aid the person without thinking, perhaps, of those mechanical smells and those odd fluids. She runs, sprints those last few steps, snatching a necklace from around her throat, snatching a small gourd and crushing it as she sets her hand upon the slumped figure. And while the dove spirit captured within the Talon flies free, as it can offer no service here, she perhaps won't make the connection until she realizes belatedly that the bit of flesh, the bit of furred body that she has set her hand upon is stone cold.
Stone cold for entirely different reasons than usual. But yes, you want to go ahead and turn over the body?
And yes, she will, of course, come about mostly puzzled because for all that death has been a part of the Sept, Maeve has not directly encountered it like this before. So she will kind of tug at the body, looking to pull it on its side, find the source of the injury, puzzling over why it's so cold, looking to the features.
It's completely and utterly obvious why this creature is no longer moving. You turn it over and you see a giant gaping wound. A wound that's at least a foot across, that seems to have torn into the insides. No. Penetrated, rammed through the chest, through the rib cage. You can see the final spurts of the heart, those ventricles, those arteries, major arteries, just hanging there. Just fucking hanging there. The wound goes ahead and crosses to the other side quite completely. One very, very strong strike through the chest has ended this poor soul. You can see that the teeth are definitely metallic, and you can see that one eye stares at you. Red. Red with red glass, rather than red blood.
And thus it is when Maeve looks to the features that have been augmented, realizes who it is that she has laid her hands on, and realizes that that red gaze has gone completely dull, completely devoid of its normal glaring light, that she will, perhaps a bit belatedly, just let out a horrified, a terrified shriek of alarm that rings across the Umbra, perhaps a little bit further than most people would attribute to a Hamid voice, but how many have truly heard a woman with the stature of a Garou shriek in alarm? And so it carries, perhaps a little farther than one might think, but to the ears of any and all that happen to be within the Umbra. Her following cries will be a little more dull, a little more deep, covered by her hand, but those who are a bit closer to that side of the Sept will still hear as she tries to compose herself, snatching back her hand, but standing over the body, clasping a hand across her mouth.
And at that point, Adam, being Maeve's unofficial shadow, no, I'm just kidding, will like Adam, a few moments after the terrified scream, Adam will come running at the best speed his four legs can carry him, because he heard her scream, and he thought, oh fuck, what's wrong with Maeve? So he comes running into the scene in actually in Hispo, because Hispo is faster than Lupus, I guess.
Lupus is actually the faster form, but Hispo is definitely more battle ready, if that's what you're saying. The problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he sprints to her rescue, and when he approaches her, his first thought is actually he approaches from an angle where he can't see the body. He can only see Maeve standing up, and at that he looks a little bit perplexed as he stops some few meters behind her, because she seems to be all right, and then he moves up beside her, and then he just sits there and stares, looking from the body to her and then back at the body.
As Adam closes that distance and realizes that there's a Lupus corpse just lurched on the ground, left abandoned at her feet, he'll actually see visibly as her knees sort of buckle, and she just kind of drops there in some combination of shock and horror, and very tentatively yanking back her fingers a couple times, reaches for that familiar face, for that familiar cybernetically augmented face, and just lightly touches the brow and then the muzzle, and then just seems to be unable to comprehend, perhaps, the reality of the situation as she investigates his wound, a couple times touches him again, as if she thinks that there is something that she can do to aid him, even though the corpse is very clearly, at this point, thoroughly, and perhaps for longer than is appropriate, dead, left there in the Umbra.
And Adam will switch into is she in Hamid?
She is in Hamid.
Adam will switch into Hamid as well, and gently but somewhat firmly pull her back from the body and says, I don't know what the fuck just happened here, but let's calm down. He takes a deep breath, looks at the body, and says, we need to inform Father. Something has done. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh, my bad. At that time, Nicholas was, doing some training with the Bonar kinfolks. He heard this, and he immediately just grabbed his sword and just ran, and then just, politely just, stepped over a little bit. He is going to run in that location, and he's not shifting or anything. As soon as he get there, I guess he arrives onto the scene. Once he sees the body, whose teeth, he's basically just going to look, and then he's going to slowly shift into Krynos, and then he's going to start looking around, and he's going to have his sword drawn, and he's going to say, we don't need to be here. Somebody has infiltrated the Sept. Warn people now.
About this time, because it seems aptly appropriate for my character, as he's going and growling the end note there of now, Michael comes loping in, noticing if I remember right what you said for Maeve, it was a griefful howl, effectively?
It was, honestly, the initial cry is one of just shock and terror. You could easily assume that she was being attacked, but in the end, if you were close enough to hear the following cries, it's more of a... There's obviously some attempt to compose herself, but she can't help but cry out multiple times in just shock and horror. The first one, again, it sounds like alarm, but the later sounds are those of just dismay, and obviously she's not taking it well.
Right. So he doesn't come in war form. He's probably actually in his lupus form, and probably being ready to prep. Actually, he would be in Hamid form, because he'd probably have his first aid kit on him, seeing what is going on before he's going to go and fight anything.
Keep in mind, the images he's coming up will be Maeve is essentially crumpled to her knees. She's got one of the cubs kind of trying to coax her away from the body. Another is standing guard, and Teeth is very clearly... it is the corpse of Teeth of Titanium laid out on the ground and very clearly run through completely.
Low battery.
Are you serious? Sorry, I just got the low battery.
I heard it. If you need to plug in, go for it.
That's going to be hard. It's not it's my headset, not...
Oh. If you need to go on speaker or something, you do whatever
I
you
will
do.
I will probably need to, but that's usually... Don't worry about it. Let's just keep going for right now.
But yeah, that is what he sees as he runs up with his first aid kit.
Okay, so he comes up with his first aid kit and his, standard holstered guy at his breath, because he's figured that one out long ago. But anyway, so he comes in, he sees the crumpled Maeve. He just heard the growl of warn the people. And actually, because I just realized there is none of his pack on here, is there?
Not in the scene, no.
That's what I figured. Actually, he'll go and try to comfort Maeve. At this point, especially if he is trying to get them out, he may attempt to coax Maeve up, trying to get her to leave.
Maeve is clearly very loath to leave the body unattended and unguarded. She's obviously still in shock. She's very clearly treating it as though there is something she can do. She's kind of, not like viciously, but is kind of fighting Adam's attempts to kind of tug and coax her away, and is trying to return to the fallen body. But it is very clear from the sheer volume of blood that has spilled out and stained the penumbral reflection of the fountains that this is a body long dead.
Actually, could I get a quick int medicine to figure out how long he's been dead?
Go for it.
How many dice?
Give me a minute here. That's what I'm double checking.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. 5 dice. If I get a single success, add 2 dice. Or add 2 successes.
Gotcha. And
Yep.
I will quickly check and see.
You get 1 success.
So I have 3 successes.
Let me look and see if I can find exactly when. It has been dead for hours.
Right.
This has clearly bled out and been left. Whoever did this did it and walked away and abandoned it there, and it has not been collected. Which is a bit odd because the fountains are not especially close to the cairn, but they are towards the central area of the Sept.
Right.
What would sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, what would I'm going to take a deep breath and compose myself roll be? Would that be gnosis, or what would it be?
If you're trying to compose yourself, I'd say you can roll willpower.
Willpower.
Yeah.
That works. So Adam will take a deep breath, and he will completely lose his shit, apparently.
Oh, dear Lord.
It probably doesn't help that Maeve is unconsciously, she doesn't realize it, per se. She's still acting as though this is just someone who needs some tending, but there are tears just completely streaking down her cheeks at this point, and I imagine that with enough chance to have to try to pull her back while she is just weeping and desperately trying to aid this very dead body, it's probably a bit of a shock.
Yeah. So Adam will Adam will like he was also clearly distraught at when he came up and saw what the fuck that was, and while he's been trying to fake calm before he to get Maeve away from the scene, I'm going to just say that he basically does manage to step away from her before he screams in anger and hate. Like, I'm not gonna scream into the microphone because
I appreciate that.
I value you guys' hearing, but it's something like
Feel free to take a point of rage
yeah.
as a result.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is outrageous! Who did this? We're gonna find this fucking coward, and we're gonna slice him from end to end and feed his fucking entrails to the worms. And yeah, so, like that, he's raging to himself.
Nicholas,
to no one in particular.
Nicholas is going to just basically he's basically going to just lift his, hand up a little bit and just going to be like, calm down. We need to get the others, because whoever did this to him is going to take a hell of a lot more to take whoever did this to him down. So we need to gather others.
And once
Would you like
Adam... Oh, go ahead.
Would you like to? Sorry, I was going to say, would you like to do a leadership role to?
I could do that.
You can.
What would that
Charisma
be?
leadership.
I have a specialty in charisma. What do that do?
What is your specialty?
I think I have charisma friendly.
I don't think it'll apply to a leadership role. So
Okay.
I'd say just roll your straight charisma leadership and the 10s won't pop this time.
All right. Come on, do stupid dice train. Activate, damn you.
I believe in you.
Oh, but it doesn't want to. It's being shy.
Yeah.
There we go. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Whoa. Okay.
That's a pretty good roll, sir.
That's an awesome roll.
That's all successes. That's
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to roll anything against it because Maeve
Neither am I.
isn't actively resisting what he's trying to do. She's just kind of lost in distress. I will roll a willpower to see if she can... Oh, or I will fuck up and close dice stream like an idiot.
No.
Can somebody roll, at this point, like 3 dice for me?
Okay.
Yep, will do.
Because
I'll let
I'm a
You get
nub.
1 success.
Okay, so Maeve does hear and does acknowledge, and while with Adam finally kind of falling back himself and falling into a fit of rage, she had urged herself forward a bit and kind of drawn that big cybernetically augmented head into her lap as though she could offer some comfort to the body. When Nicholas starts talking that good sense, she'll very hesitantly kind of gingerly place the muzzle back onto the ground and begin to pull herself back up, reacting to that leadership role and coming finally to her feet and looking to Nicholas almost as though she's completely lost.
Listen, I know.
I was just gonna say that Adam is Adam also hears this, and I'm going to need to. I think I'm going to need to roll willpower, but I'm gonna say that it's gonna be a lower difficulty because of Nicholas's many successes. So something like
If you want to give yourself like a lower diff, like a diff 5 or something,
Yeah.
for willpower to kind of snap yourself back into the zone.
Yeah, that works. Adam, like in the throng of his rage, Adam hears Nicholas and he goes, "You're right. You're right. You're right."
What needs to be done now is we need to get somebody of higher rank, tell them about the situation, and see what they can do about this. Because if somebody's roaming around here doing this type of God knows what, we need to gather everybody now.
And something something powerful enough to do that.
Sort of in response to good old Nicholas's words, from out of the brush. Actually, that's a lie. Not out of the brush. Standing in front of the brush, just clearly a little bit blurred. Lucas is going to go ahead and speak up. I don't think you have to worry about nobody roaming around with Grand Clave.
Adam looks at Nicholas. What do you mean?
Say again?
And Maeve will also look to Lucas, and she's just completely
Lucas, of course, not
tear-streaked.
Nicholas.
Pardon, Lucas, not Nicholas. And she's
Yeah,
just completely tear-streaked and shocked.
Yeah, I said Nicholas. I meant Lucas.
Oh.
We have technical difficulties. Because I hear myself over your mic, Matt.
I believe that is Matt.
Really?
Because he's on his phone. There's a little echo. It's not terrible yet, but it's audible. Would you like to before you have to mute yourself?
No, go for it. I'm going to mute myself.
When I see the mute go down, I will hush so that you can speak.
Lucas is going to go ahead and walk over to the body. Go ahead and crouch down. That rise. Exoskeleton sheathing the rib cage. Eye, Seprai, teeth, metal teeth, teeth of titanium. He has a head nods. Stands back up with his coggy stick. I think this is teeth of titanium. Raya, Athro, Glasswalker, Adrun, Lupus Born.
Adam looks at Luke. Adam looks at Lucas like, "You don't say," with that kind of expression on his face.
Go ahead, Matt.
You get the side eye.
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were trying to talk at the same time. I wanted to make sure I heard you.
Nope, I was.
Oh, my bad.
I just said that Adam, when Lucas says that that this is teeth of titanium, Adam first looks at the body and then looks at Lucas with the kind of "you don't say" kind of look on his face.
And Maeve is probably also going to look to Lucas, and it's blatantly the "what do I do" face. It's she's completely horrified by what she's stumbled across and looking for some sort of direction.
Adam will look at everyone and then say, "Nicholas was right. We need to get Father's attention on this," referring to Olaf.
He's not here.
No, but we need to get him because this is not something we can deal with ourselves.
Okay. For right now, Dave, I want you to go ahead and get a large white sheath. Just go ahead and cover him. Adam, I want you, because you're a Galliard, to start spreading the news to people, like, just on foot for right now, to tell people to stay away from the area.
Yeah.
Nicholas, you get the wonderful job of guarding the body.
Adam looks a little bit like not annoyed, but a little bit okay. Who put you in charge? But he doesn't want to like challenge that point right now because he has some kind of sense of propriety. So he, at least I think he does. No, he doesn't have etiquette, but he. Okay.
But,
he's not
Lucas is still a Cleith, if that helps.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's a Cleith. I didn't know that. Fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that settles it. Adam goes to like spread the word.
Is me and Lucas the only Cleaths here?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh dear lord.
And for the sake of record, Maeve will promptly go about the process of shifting to Lupus so that she can run more quickly, and will hurry herself immediately out of the scene, sprinting towards the cub cabins to recover her own sheets, because you know what? That'll fucking work.
Adam, make sure you do come back.
Yes. Is he supposed to call him Raya or?
He hasn't called you on anything quite yet. It's up to you to decide whether or not you want to be formal in this situation.
Adam, I think in this situation where everything is fucked up, Adam is going to retreat to formality and say yes, Raya, and then sprint out in Lupus to spread the word.
Is Michael there as well?
Yes, I am.
All right. What is Michael doing?
Michael is just kind of surveying at this point, trying to figure out who is about to break.
That ship sailed, sir.
That ship has sailed quite quickly and quite spectacularly. Yeah. And so he's kind of just standing there, like, he does. Actually, I don't think he has the funeral right. Give me a minute here. Let me double check something.
Oh, we are not doing Gathering Departed.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't that a little bit premature?
Yeah, it's just more that he's probably just actually, pulling. I don't know what he's actually doing at this point. Actually, that seems to be the most appropriate reaction right now. Is he's just kind of sitting there going, "I really need the pack mentality flaw in this character." I just realized.
Yes, that would be great. It looks like you're kind of confused about what you're doing, or maybe freaking out. Lucas is going to look at you and say, "You're a keeper, right?"
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to make sure that all the spirits here, at least, are calm, cool, and don't turn bloodthirsty for no odd reason. Please?
He shifts... we're in the penumbra, which is... Is that the physical?
The penumbra is the umbra. So you are not in the physical.
Okay. So, yeah, he just starts being his friendly self to any and all spirits around here. He is being the spirit therapist.
Yay! And Lucas, for his part, is going to go ahead and stand back for a hot second and wait for everybody to go ahead and gather back to him.
And once done, Adam comes back to the scene, looking slightly more in control of himself than he did when he left, but still visibly shaken. Not stirred, but
also return hastily in Lupus, and if you guys are willing to hand wave the dedication, because she will sit there and try until it works, she will return with a white sheet in her maw, and once she has gotten back to the body, will snap back to Hamid to very gingerly, very delicately wrap it around the body.
Nicholas is going to look towards Lucas. Lucas, Ryan, do you have any idea what happened?
I might know what happened. Who here was discovered the body, and in what state was it?
And Maeve is just still kind of hovering. Once she's tucked the sheet around him, she just is kneeling herself by the fallen Garou's muzzle. And she just kind of looks up at him, obviously still in a state of, like, half shock, and kind of goes, "I found him like this."
He goes ahead and nods. This exact state?
She just kind of nods numbly.
What can you tell me about him?
I wasn't thinking. I tried. And she's still got the cord is still around her neck. There's probably still a little bit of the gourd attached and bits of the shattered gourd around him. And she's like, I tried, but he's... And she sets a hand kind of on the big, absurdly muscular shoulder of the Garou and says, "He's just cold. He's..." And she takes a second to collect herself. "He's struck through."
Struck through?
Adam points to the wound.
Well, she's covered him with a sheet, so she'll, her other hand, kind of take it and in a knife motion kind of point towards her gut. In one side and out the other.
Okay. Lewis is going to go ahead and try to take a seat on the. Actually, no, he's not going to fucking touch the fountain at all. He's just going to go ahead and take a part of the clearing to himself. Deep of Titanium is dead. The Warder is dead, as struck down by the Wyrmfoe. The Wyrmfoe handed himself over to the beta earlier this morning.
What did you just say?
No, as you say that, Michael turns with that blink, blink. What?
Adam's eyes widen and stares at Lucas. His jaw dropping.
Yeah, Maeve's just kind of staring, still in that kind of obvious state of shock, and there's fresh tears just pouring down her face.
What transpired for this to happen?
Consult your Philodox.
Not only does another warrior falls, another one will be falling as well. That is not good for the nation.
Adam stands there and he quietly shakes his head. Like, it's not that he disbelieves what Lucas is saying. He doesn't think he would make some shit like that up. But he's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? He's like he's trying to grasp the enormity of the situation, and failing pretty heavily at the moment.
And Maeve is going to, while this is going on, she looks still very blank expression-wise, besides the obvious. I mean, the tears are just pouring without thinking. But she will, while kneeling next to the body, kind of manifest a point of gnosis, as if drawing it from her chest, and hold it up until one of the nearby bird spirits takes interest. Probably one of the many doves that lingers near both her and Lucas. And when it finally approaches, she'll murmur to it, offer it the small ball of gnosis, and send it in the direction of the right master's hut.
I'll admit, it's kind of a bad situation that we go ahead and find ourselves in, but I'd like to go ahead and thank all of you for keeping a level head after finding the body. Yeah.
Adam doesn't really. He registers Lucas' words, but he just stands there with the 1,000-mile stare, not able to, like. the Sept has lost one of its greatest warriors and is going to lose another great warrior. So he's like, we're fucked. We're totally, completely, utterly fucked.
Nope. No problem.
Michael is there. He is by no means in as much shell shock as most of the Cubs are, as it seems. He's just keeping his distance, though. His major thing is he is keeping an eye, seeing if anyone is about to frenzy or flip out in any way, shape, or form. He's just... That is what he's doing right now, is he's trying to make sure that if anyone is about to go off, he's going to be in between them.
Maeve isn't looking at her most stable, but even then, she's, let's just see, for the sake of argument, and of course I deleted Dice Stream because I'm a retard. Could somebody roll 4 whole dice for me?
Yep. 1 success.
And it is, what, a gibbous moon? Or maybe a half moon by now?
It's getting to be a rather full moon.
Is it really?
It's gibbous going on to full, I believe.
Let me check.
Yeah, it was half moon on Friday the 13th.
Really is. Yeah, so it's fairly full, but even with 1 success, it's not enough for her to go apeshit bananas. It's very
cool beans.
So she's obviously, if anything, in just a state of outright especially now that the dove has been sent off. She's just kneeling there and blank. It's shock is setting in.
Lucas, Riot, if you get any more information, I guess it will be, if you can, just let us know at your convenience. Other than that, what transpired here is a great loss indeed, but we will recover from it.
Go nuts. That we will, Nicholas. That we will.
Right. Anyway. So, Right Master's been called. Or, I don't know that, never mind.
You can assume that you heard her talking to it if you like. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, fair enough. Excuse me?
And it very obviously winged in that direction. It's a pretty logical assumption to make.
Is it? And when you say Right Master, is that Katori?
The Right Master would be Chases the Storm.
Thank you. Okay. Honestly, at this point, and he's not going to try and be funny. He's not that, I want to say stupid, but the thing is that if anyone looks in his eyes, you can see the hurt and the concern in Michael's eyes. But if someone could roll me, I want to say leadership for this. I want to say charisma, leadership, of just trying to get everyone, how do I want to say this? Not their minds away from it, but he is definitely trying to hold, chin up, that type of thing.
How many dice?
Actually, he's going to fire off persuasion first, which is blanking mind. Isn't that like a subterfuge roll, actually?
Give me 1 second, and I can let you know.
It is charisma, subterfuge, at a difficulty of 7. 1 success is all that is required. It gives you a -1 difficulty to soul.
Yeah. Exactly. Subterfuge. Where's my subterfuge? There it is, 2. So, pool of 6 on that. Diff 7. Who's ever rolling it?
I am, and you get 2 successes.
Awesome. So, my diff is 1 lower than it should be for this. My pool for what I am trying to do is going to be 5. Because I'm going to call this leadership, unless there were... expression's the same, so...
3 successes.
3 successes? So that's 5 successes. To... not cheering people up, but the slightly motivational speaking that everyone loves during a funeral.
And what is he saying?
That's an excellent question. What it really comes down to is that, yes, we have lost one of our own. But if we let the tendrils of Verano even attempt to get its grip on us, we will lose more than just the person that has fallen here today, and 2. More than the 2, because Hex is having a hell of a time talking. More than the 2 that we will lose today, for even though we are not dead, we are not well within the nation.
Listen to your riot, Cubs. That's not a bad word.
And apparently it is very moving.
Yeah.
And 5 successes.
Nicholas is just going. I mean, Nicholas has been calm the whole time. Like, strangely enough. Of course, Ryan, you speak words of truth. I will leave this up to the Elder Council to decide what is going on. and whatever gets around, it will get around to us cubs whenever it does. So, other than that, we should just keep calm and just wait till the higher ups tell us anything.
Adam
Those-
nods slowly, seeing the sense in the words, glancing from occasionally at the covered body of teeth, but nodding. Yes, we need to let things go their course.
Do not
Sorry, go
do
ahead.
not leave here thinking that we are going to forget them. We're not. For their stories will always be told. For that's what we do. That's what the Galliards do.
Adam nods, and when you say that's what the Galliards do, he gets a bit of a what's the word in English? Self acknowledged? No. He gets a bit of a yes. That's
An
what
ego boost?
Yeah, I think that's the word. Yeah. He nods slowly and says yes. Yes, we will do that.
And Maeve is still perhaps looking a little numb, but at least the waterworks are slowing down a bit.
Yeah.
She has not budged from her kneel at the side of the corpse.
Adam looks at her and says, "We can do no more here, Maeve." With a soft voice. We will do him no good staying here. The proper procedure has been initiated. Let's go.
Lucas, Raya,
Mm-hmm.
I look toward the future now. In the future that's telling us now, with this turn of events that's going to foretell, is that we're going to lose two great warriors. And
This
with
is-
that, well, sorry.
This is true. We will be losing two great warriors. And Nicholas.
With that being said and done, I would suggest that we have a new cub that's Arun, right?
Yeah, Lupita.
I suggest that we train a lot more harder this time to fill in them shoes.
You, Nicholas, and you, Lupita. Lupita, who is not here, but the Sept will be looking at you two both. You have a lot of potential. Hopefully, when you come out of your cuphood, and hopefully when you go ahead and pass your rite of passages, you'll be able to defend the Sept.
Of course, but for now, I have no words for what transpired. But only thing I say, I look toward the future.
Nicholas, he says, like a little bit of aside, do me a favor. Watch out for your new sister. She comes from unknowing stock, and will be looking to anybody to give her encouragement and guidance.
Of course.
Thank you.
And as an aside, Maeve has, while conversations are going on, has slowly shaken her way into Hispo form and laid herself not like in a creepy way directly alongside, but, spaced just a bit away from the body, has kind of laid herself out in an almost protective posture near to the corpse.
And Adam looks at her with with a kind of sad understanding, and tries once more to get her to move. He says, "Maeve, we won't be doing teeth any good like this, and you will only torture yourself. Let's go. The proper people have been called. You will be honored."
Listen to your brother, Maeve. It's nothing we can do here. It has already done come to pass, and that is it.
And Maeve will kind of, considering it's a hispo expression, will draw back her lips a bit and
Shit.
bare the very points of her teeth, not the whole array, but it's kind of that little warning expression. And while remaining firmly hunkered alongside the body, will say, "I will wait until the right master comes."
Wonderful. Nicholas, you got a buddy to go ahead and protect the body with.
She will do me no good by laying like that if she's going to help me protect the body.
Then
The lips draw back a tiny bit more.
Yeah, Adam. At those words, Adam looks at Nicholas like, "Really, dude? Was that necessary?"
Nicholas is just going to just be looking at her just like, it's not going to bring him back.
look. Nicholas, Maeve, you are now on bodyguard duty. That is it. This is not to simply make anything better. This is simply what needs to be done.
Understandable, Raya.
Adam looks at Lucas, and although he's not like he knew Lucas as a cub, and they were cubs together, but Lucas is a Cleath now, and Adam feels the need to withdraw to formality to sort of protect himself against too much emotion or whatever you want to call it. So Adam looks at Lucas and says, "What do you want me to do, Ryan?"
Let's see. You are your own man, Adam, but I can go ahead and suggest that you go to the Fianna and inform them directly of what has happened. The Right Master has already been informed, so if you meet a few of his men, those are the people you need to talk to.
As you say, he nods and heads off into the proper direction.
I thought today was going to be great.
I will say this, Michael just kind of looks at Lucas over there, and it's not anything, it's just that eyebrow look of, so did you expect to be leading people today?
Michael, there are several things that we need to do around the fountain to make sure that the spirits here are not just freaking anxious about the bloodshed. Let's get that work done, and yeah.
As Michael just nods and goes back to being counselor for the spirits.
Mm-hmm. Lucas is going to go ahead and take a hot second before he disappears back in the brushes like he always wants to do. Maybe still in hispo form, right?
Maeve is just hunkered down, and since the smack talk is done, is fairly mellow, but is in hispo form near to the body.
All right. So go ahead and first walk up to Nicholas. You have your post, good sir. Do me good. He'll walk over to Maeve. Go ahead and get on his knees and simply hug her across her gigantic fucking muzzle. Whisper into your ear. You're doing fine. You're doing just fine.
And hilariously, while this Hamid wraps himself around this gigantic hispo head, and mutters a reassurance, she visibly kind of nuzzles into his chest, which, you know, is roughly the size of her head at this point, but kind of nuzzles into him and takes the reassurance.
Alright. After that, Lucas goes ahead and heads to the nearest brush and disappears spectacularly like he has demonstrated and shown so many times before.
And would anyone else like to take any further actions, have any further things to say before we close this out? Assuming
No.
that at least two of us will be acting as bodyguards.
Nicholas is just gonna be, and his Chronos just looking at Maeve, and then he's just gonna just turn back around, plunge his sword to the ground, and just stand like a guardian right there.
The funny thing is that it comes down to it, is that you guys have a third guard, just one that's not completely paying attention. But every once in a while, if you guys go and look, Michael is keeping an eye on both of you cubs. But it's one of the... sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to finish up saying, just making sure that both of you are okay and still doing your jobs.
Then I will say it is safe to close the scene, saying that Lucas disappears off into the night, as he is wont to do. Adam has gone to collect some of the kin. Perhaps if we are able to transport the body across the gauntlet, we would be able to transport it further to the Right Master. But in the meantime, two cubs stand vigil, one in Hispo, settled down on the ground near, very, very near to the corpse that has been very gingerly wrapped in a sheet that is no longer perhaps as white as it started. The other standing like a vigilant sort of sentinel, with his sword tipped down into the ground. And a third, perhaps less blatant, but nonetheless there, keeping kind of a perimeter about the two as they stand their vigil, keeping an eye both on them and on whatever might approach. And with that scene left as such, we will say, thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And this has been another episode from the living world of darkness, Rage Across New York. Teeth of Titanium, rest in peace.